which will be useful, all right, in either the personal capacity or in your workplace capacity. All right, so let's start. I'm going to share the screen now. Oops. All right. So today, my webinar is about grammar made easy for working adults. All right, grammar. Okay, so why do we have difficulties in grammar? All right, especially when it comes to writing documents. A lot of time is because Malaysians simply are not exposed to grammar in schools. So we just pick, all right, things along the way, all right, and we are not really taught the grammar rules and structures that will actually help us in writing or even speaking in good English. All right. Another problem is, of course, our mother tongue is different from English. What structures we learn in English are very, very different from our mother tongue structures. So because of this confusion, all right, we end because we lack the grammatical background related to the different grammar structures, we struggle and make a lot of mistakes. So what my webinar is going to be focusing on today are these 5 areas. What are some of the common errors we all make? Okay, and I'm going to focus on these 4 very major areas. Okay, one is subject-verb agreement. Second is tenses. Third is articles, and fourth is prepositions. Now, can you all hear me? Can you all see the slides? If you all can do, can I just have a thumbs up from everybody? All right, great. Thank you, Shahida. All right, thank you, everybody. So let us get started with the first content, which is, oops, 1 minute. Okay, 1 minute. Sorry about that. All right, which is common errors. So in the common errors, I've divided this into 2. One is common errors related to grammar rules. Okay, to grammar rules. So what do I mean by that? Okay. Verb, tense, and form. Okay, so remember, English is all about tenses. Do you all agree? All right, without having a verb in a sentence, in English, the sentence is meaningless. All right, so in English, the timelines, we have timelines for everything. Okay, so we will know when we are talking about it. Is it talking in the past, present, or future? So basically, we only need one main sentence, or rather one main verb in a sentence. So here you can see, very common error is when you use 2 verbs, are and represents. So both are and in sentence 2 is actually not necessary. All right. Why? Because they do nothing to the sentence. They just confuse the sentence. So basically the rule in using verb tenses is at any one time, we are only allowed to use maximum 2 verbs, but correctly. Here you can see that are represents is a wrong grammar structure. The linking word that you can use with are is actually a verb ing form. So it should be the school uniform, okay, representing. So here, another thing is that even the subject verb is wrong. So because school uniform is singular noun, your verb must be singular. So you must have the school uniform is. And the second thing is that when you use is, all right, you must make a linking verb. And that linking verb must be a verb ing form. Okay. All right. So here, thank you so much. You should cancel this. All right. And you should actually cancel this. All right. And you should put the school uniform is representing an organizational entity. The second way you can use this is by using a modal verb. Example, the school uniform might represent an organizational unity. All right. So, or the third way you can use it is just use it represent as on its own. So the school uniform, here you must take this away, represents an organizational unit. So these are the three ways that you can actually correct this sentence. The second way is the same. You cannot say is and sure because they are both considered, okay, main verbs. So the only way you can correct this is by either changing the ensure to a verb ing form. So you can say the free public transport is ensuring a timeless trip. The second way you can correct this sentence is by using a modal verb like free public transport will ensure a timeless trip or can ensure a timeless trip. And the third way to correct this sentence is by just using one verb, ensure, but by putting a S onto it because it must have a subject-verb agreement. All right, so the second error that's commonly done, oops, how come I can't go to my next slide? All right, okay, the second one is subject-verb agreement. This is another component of grammar that is very confusing and a lot of times a lot of errors are made. Why? You must remember subject verb phrase should agree in number and in person. Errors occur when you have a plural noun like Malaysians must always take a plural verb and once is not a plural verb. All right. The second is it show. Again, it is a singular noun. So if it is a singular noun, it can only take a singular verb. And show is not a singular verb. The singular verb here is it shows. So the correct word is Malaysians want to achieve and it shows. All right, so this is a second major problem, all right, related to grammar. Now let's move on to the third. The third is prepositions. This is another area, all right, which is actually very difficult because we tend to use the wrong choice of prepositions. Mind you, later in the slides, I will share you, there are more than 100 different types of prepositions in the English language, all right, and all actually have different meanings, all right. For these two sentences, example, you can see that prepositions mean aim is to join two parts of a sentence. So we can see they have two parts. We can learn how people survive and when they travel other country. Now here you can see that the other country is joined up to the first part of the sentence, but it misses the connection, the linking preposition. Here we need a preposition of movement because it involves travel other country. The word travel means it's a movement. So if there's a movement, you need to have a preposition related to movement, which is to. So we can learn how people survive when they travel to other country. In the second sentence, again, you have the image and being skinny and pretty. So you have got two different pieces of information. Now you need to link them with a preposition. Here, obviously, you can't use a preposition of movement because it will make no sense. Here, you will use another type of preposition, namely, we call it a preposition of possession. And in that, we use the word of, the image of being skinny and pretty. We will look in more details later. All right. The fourth type of error commonly made related to grammar rules is the use of articles. Now, as you all know, in the English language, all right, there are two main types of article: definite articles, indefinite. Definite articles is the, okay, and indefinite articles is a. All right, but there are some rules governing how and when to use the, and so how to use it with a. A is more a general article, can be used for general things, but a is more definite, it is specific. And in this instant, if it's the first time you're using social media, the rule says you don't need to use an article. All right, okay. And another reason is also that social media is a general word. So when it comes to general words, we don't need an article. All right, so the second sentence, respect. Now, respect is, yes, it is a noun, but what type of noun is it? Now, articles always are related to nouns. They are always attached in front of a noun. Now, respect is a noun, no doubt, but it is a noun that cannot be counted. We call it uncountable. And when a noun is uncountable, we do not use any article. That's the grammar rule. So in this case, we do not use a. Sorry, I need to cancel a. All right, and we do not even need to use the. All right. Okay, so the last area that is always a confusion is auxiliaries. What are auxiliaries? Auxiliaries are words that accompany a main verb, okay, to express its tense, its mood, or its voice. And usually the three auxiliaries that are very commonly used in English is do, be, and have. All right, so if you look at the first sentence, actually it's a question because it's got a question mark at the end of it. Now, what is the main verb here? The main verb is actually the main verb is actually give. Oops. Is actually give. So if you're using a main verb give, then the auxiliary to use is do. All right, so here it is, it is. It is a sentence, it's not a question. So there you have got two errors. Firstly, as a question can never begin with a subject. A question always begins with a verb. Okay, so there you have the first error. The second is. Like I said in the verb tense, is used with a gerund. That means it is always used with a verb ing. So here, is not, it's redundant. It is unnecessary here because your main verb here is give. Dress codes give benefits. That's the meaning of the sentence. So for give, the auxiliary word to use is do. Do dress codes give benefits? And in the second one, you have three verbs here. Is, may, make. Again, remember the rule. In one sentence, you can have maximum of two verbs. Here you have three. So there again, there is a big error. So you can't have is. If you're having is, you can say it is making somebody look pretty. Then grammatically, you're correct. But may is a modal verb. If you want to use may, you cannot say is. So you will say it may make somebody look pretty and beautiful. All right, but you cannot use it all together. All right. Okay, any questions so far? Are you all clear with what the webinar is going to be about? So this is what, thank you, Anani. This is what I'm going to be covering. Today, I'm going to cover 4 different areas of grammar. The first one will be the subject-verb agreement. The second will be the correct use of tenses. The third will be use of articles. The fourth is use of prepositions and also the use of correct auxiliaries when we are doing subject-verb agreement. So if you're all okay and you're all okay with the pace, I will start going through each of these areas of difficulty related to grammar, and I'll teach you some of the easy ways, the rules, and the common mistakes that is made by you and me, so that we can try to polish up our English usage. Are we all okay? All good? Okay, thank you, Yasmin. Okay, so I'm going to start sharing. But before I start sharing, I also want to tell you a little bit about other common errors which are related to spelling and sound, which are easily confused. All right, so just clear little doubts, just very simple. Some very common errors related to spelling and sound that we all get a bit confused about. All right, so I am going to share. Oops, sorry, 1 minute. Okay, common errors related to spelling and sound. The first one is you, your, your. Okay, your. Your is used Y-O-U-R. Your is used when you want to show that something belongs to someone else. Like, this is your phone. This is your car. All right? Then you use the word Y-O-U-R. But the contraction, your, it actually is composed of 2 words, you are. And in speech and even in informal writing, we tend to contract our words. Okay, like it is, we say it's. Okay, you are, we say you are. They are, we say they are. Okay, so we tend to contract, but actually what it means is that it means you are. You as a subject and are as a verb. That means it is describing a person. So we can say, you are a great friend. You are amazing. Okay, the second very common mistake we make is when we confuse these 3 words. There, there, there. Okay, there again, like you are, it's a contraction consisting of 2 words. They are. Example, yes, they are going to work right now. They are not coming for dinner. All right. Now, there is used to show that something belongs to more than one person. Like, there are so many bags here. Oh, okay, these belong to the student. These are their bags. Their meaning whose. It shows possession. So it's very different from they are. They are, it is a start of a sentence. So showing subject and a verb, referring to or describing people. But there is showing possession. The third there is an adverb that places something at a location. All right, example, there's a webinar right now. Example. That means what you're showing is that there is something happening at a particular location. The third very common mistake is it's and its. Okay, now if with an apostrophe like it is, okay, it is actually consisting of two words. It is, meaning again, like you are, they describe a thing, like it is. It is a hot day today. It is describing the day. But it indicates that something belongs to something else. Like we use it for things that are not living, all right, not human-like. We use it for buildings, for animals, all right, for countries, okay, all right. So example, it does not require an apostrophe. Like the cat licked its fur. Don't say the cat licked it apostrophe s. Its fur. It's wrong. That means you are talking about the cat and then you're repeating, the subject again. The cat licks the cat's fur again? No. But what we mean is, whose fur are we talking about? The cat's fur. So instead of putting the cat, we use a possessive pronoun like its, all right, to denote that we are talking about the cat and not the dog, for instance. So we say the cat licks its fur. The fourth one is two and two. They have the same sound. It's only one word has one extra O. Okay? Two shows that something or someone is moving to a position, either physically or mentally. I'm going to Singapore. I'm going to Penang next week. But the two actually means in addition, also, okay, an extra thing. Next is borrow and lend, and very, very, very common. People always make this mistake. I borrow your pen, okay? All right. Lend actually means giving something or someone for a short time. That means it moves away from you. I lend to. Always remember. How can we remember this? Lend always comes with to. That means it must go to another person. It must not come to me. Okay, it must go away from me. So lend means giving something or somebody for a short time, but borrow means receiving it. That means it comes to you. Okay, to you. All right. Something with a full intention of returning it to them. All right. For instance, you can say, you must be very happy. She's going to lend you a book. She's going to lend you a book. That means the book is going to come to you. All right. Or you can say, can I borrow your pen? Okay, yeah, borrow your pen, meaning that pen is going to come to me and I'm going to receive you. I'm going to receive it. All right. So make this confusion clear. All right. So always use the word borrow from, but lend to for you to be able to stop making this error. The sixth one is again then and then, has the same sound, but only has a E and a A, difference between an E and an A. So the THEN then means next, in addition, furthermore. Okay, that means the next point, then. But the word THAN, it is when you use it to compare elements, like this class is colder than that class. Okay, this house is bigger than that house. When you make comparisons, that's the THAN. And the last one, also very mind-boggling at times. You want to know when to use effect and when to use effect. Okay, remember, effect is a noun. Remember that. Effect is a verb. Effect is the aftermath of something, like a cause and effect. After the rain, what is the effect? Oh, the floods. But effect is and describes that the influence of something. That means It is how it is affecting you, all right, directly. How it affects you directly. Okay, this pandemic, it affects everybody differently, right? It affects you differently, it affects me differently. So here we are talking about how it changes us. So when something changes us, okay, it is a verb. It is affect, A-F-F-E-C-T. All right. Effect is a name, it's a noun. The effect, a flood is a name of something. So you call it effect. All right. Okay. So far, so good. So I've just highlighted some of the common errors related to spelling and sound. All okay? I can't hear anything. Puspa, are you still cannot hear anything? Sorry, I just read words from Puspa. Puspa, are you okay now? Okay, thank you. Is Puspa? All right, okay. Sorry, I'm just reading the chat. I will remember to maximize my slides. All right, okay. So let's move on. I'm going to share my slide again. Let's maximize and let's put the slideshow. All right. Okay. Right. So these were. All right. Before we even go into the 5 areas where we tend to make a lot of grammar mistakes, let me give you an overview of the words that I'm going to be using. All right. The terms. What do I mean by verb tenses when I say verb tenses? What it actually means is the action performed by people or things. All right. The building is collapsing. Example. So is collapsing is a verb tense. Okay. We are at a webinar. Are is a verb tense. Eat is a verb tense. That is in the present. In the past, it will be ate. In the future will be will. All right. In the present continuous will be am eating. In the past continuous will be was eating, and in the future continuous will be will be eating. Okay, right. In the present perfect, has started, past perfect had started, and future perfect will have started. So in the English language, there are actually 12 verb tenses. And like I said earlier, verb tenses in English are very, very important because they denote time. They give you a timeline. And English is, and once we read the sentence, we know which time, okay, we can put a time to that sentence and we make sense of the sentence. And this is very difficult in other languages simply because the verb tense does not exist in their mother tongue. So this poses a lot of problem. All right, so we'll try to look at some of these later, and I'll give you some guide as I will actually be introducing you to some key words that are related to each of these verb tense. When we recognize the key words, we'll be able to recognize what verb tense it is, and it will give us meaning to show us in which time space, okay, this sentence is related to. All right, the other verb tenses related other forms are, of course, the infinitive form. Now, infinitive form must always have the word to plus the base verb, to eat. Now, in English, the infinitive form is used for purpose, a specific reason. I want. Yeah, in life you want so many things. What is the specific purpose of your want? Oh, I want to travel once I get my vaccination. What else do you want? I want to eat pizza for dinner. That's your wish. Okay, so Infinitive is used for a specific purpose. The next is gerund. Gerund is a verb ing. Remember, I said every sentence you can only have two types of verbs. One is the main verb on its own, like I eat. The second is I am eating, which is a gerund linking word. The M links, okay, the I to the eating, which is a verb ing. Or the third, you can use it with a modal verb. All right, so this is the use of the gerund, verb ing, verb. Okay, the next one is eaten, which is a past participle, very important to be used in the present perfect, past perfect tenses. All right, the verb eat is in the present, but the past will be ate, but the past participle become eaten. Now, English is a funny language. It composed of two main group of verbs. One is regular verbs, which is so easy. To change it to past, we just put play, played. Okay? To put it to future, we just put will play. Done. But there's another group of verbs, which is called the irregular verb, like speak, write. Okay? Speak. Past tense of speak is spoke. But the past participle is not spoked with a D, but spoken. Okay? Same for write. Write in the present, I write. I write every day. But in the past, I wrote. But in the past participle, I will say, I have written. So the spelling changes completely. Okay, this is another thing that we need to learn. Okay, all right. And the last one is, of course, the passive form. The passive form is used when you don't want to highlight the person doing the action. You are more interested in the process or the procedure of something, like the report was written by a team of experts, not I wrote the report. If I say I wrote the report, that means the focus is on I. Then it becomes an active sentence. But if I change it around, my focus is going to be on the report. Then I use a passive. Okay, I use a passive form, but the passive form comes with a rule. You must use it with the be verb plus the past participle. So I say the report was written by a team of experts. So that is passive. Okay, so learn all this terminology, learn all these terms. So when I talk about verb tenses, I can mean any of the 12. Eat, ate, will eat, and eating, was eating, will be eating, has started, had started, will have started. Okay, but verb related other tenses, infinitive, to eat, gerund, eating, verb ing, past participle, eaten, written, spoken, passive, was eaten, was written, was spoken. Okay, now the next thing we have to know in grammar is, of course, conditionals. Conditionals are when you make a sentence with two parts. One part will depend on another part. Okay, if it satisfies the condition, then we will get a result. If it doesn't satisfy the condition, we will not get a result. So that's why in these type of sentences, you have a comma in the middle. If I become rich, I will buy a big house. So if you don't become rich, you cannot buy a big house. So that's what I mean by there are two parts to the sentence. And it's always separated by a comma if you start with the if. But I can also start with, I will buy a big house if I become rich. Also, there are two parts, but it's not separated by a comma. Okay? Now, if you think that this condition can become reality, is true, is real, then you use first conditional. And because it is true, it is real, we use the simple present. And the result will be a prediction. I will buy. I will bring. We can also use a model. I can buy. I might buy. I could buy. Because it can be a reality. You never know. One day, okay, we can be lucky. Okay, we can have a windfall. We can win a lottery. We can get good bonuses. All right, anything can happen. It can become reality. So we use the simple present. And the result will be a prediction, will. The second conditional is not so good because it is hypothetical. The speaker doesn't think it will become real. So we dream. When we dream, okay, we always say, if I become rich, if I lived on the moon, if I were the prime minister, okay, if I won the lottery, okay, then we cannot use it in the present because it's not reality. It's something we imagined. It's something unreal. Okay, it's hypothetical. So we must use the past form. If I became rich, if I lived, see, we use the past tense. If I won a lottery ticket, past, then the result will also be, you cannot say will, because will is real. We will say would. Would is unreal. It's hypothetical. I would buy a big house. I would be lonely. All right. Now, third conditional is for regrets. Always for regrets. Okay. If I had gone to the party yesterday, did you go? No. Because he said, if I had gone, meaning that situation did not happen. You wanted it to happen, but it didn't happen. Okay. And because it didn't happen, we put it in the past perfect form. Had gone. If I had studied harder, if I had listened to my English teacher more closely, example, okay, I wouldn't be here today. Okay, all right, okay, I would be top management level now, for instance. Okay, so these are for regrets. Okay, mixed conditional means a past hypothetical situation with a present result. If I had gone to the party yesterday, I would be tired today. Yes. Okay, I would. That means you imagine what would have happened if you had gone to the party. Okay, other things related to grammar is, of course, the last other. Look at other adjectives. Adjectives are describing verbs. Not verbs, sorry, words. Describing words. We need, if we want to describe something, we use an adjective. Where do we put an adjective? Usually we put it in front of the noun. All right, like the red apple. The red apple, not the green apple. I want to describe the apple and it's red. So I said the red apple. That's an adjective. Okay? Then sometimes we want to compare two apples. Okay? We cannot say, how are we going to compare two? We use comparatives. The red apple is sweeter than the green apple. We are comparing. So when we are comparing, we use the word ER and we use the word than. The red apple is sweeter, we say ER, than the green apple. Sometimes some adjectives we cannot use ER. Example, good looking. There's no ER for good looking. There's no ER for beautiful. We need to use another word, more beautiful, more good looking. So that's why we have a slash. Faster, more beautiful. That is if you're comparing two. But if you want to compare more than two, if you want to compare a basket of apples, okay? All right, then we use the superlative. All right, the red apples are the sweetest in the basket. All right, or the red gala apple is the sweetest apple in the market. Again, we use the word the plus est, the fastest. But not all adjectives you can use est. Like beautiful and good looking, we cannot. We have to use the most beautiful, the most good looking. All right, okay? And of course, then come to basic. What is a pronoun? Pronoun is a word to mean a person or a thing, a pronoun. Okay, a noun is a name of a thing or a person. All right, pronouns are words like I, you, we, they, he, she, it. Okay, possessive pronoun is, so remember, pronouns, you can have two types. One is in the front of a sentence, you call it a subject pronoun. One is at the end of a sentence, you call it an object pronoun. I like him. The him, I, is my subject pronoun because that's how I start my sentence. I like him. Him is after like. So we call it an object pronoun. But I cannot say I like he because he is for the beginning of a sentence. He likes you. But I like, the he you must change into an object pronoun, which is him. Okay? All right. Then possessive pronouns is, who does it belong to? Whose. Always ask the question whose for possessive pronoun. Whose? This is hers. This is yours. This is mine. That's possessive pronoun. Whose. Reflective pronoun is always with the word self. Lisa introduces herself. She introduces herself. We introduce ourselves. They introduce themselves. And of course, an possessive adjective is her. Now, the difference between possessive pronoun and possessive adjective is very similar. Okay? Possessive adjective must have a noun after her. Her name, my name, his name, our name. But a possessive pronoun doesn't need a noun. This is hers. This is ours. We can say, this is her bag. But we also can say, this is hers. This is our class. Yes, possessive adjective. Okay, this is our class. But you can also use a possessive pronoun. This is ours without a noun. Okay, all right. So now that you've got some general idea of some of the terms that I'm going to be using, all right. Everything good? Anybody with any questions so far? All good? All right, okay. All right, so let's go down to the basic of grammar now. All right, I'm going to share screen again. Okay, shall I just remind you that this is going to be a very interactive session. So you'll be doing a lot of exercises with me. I'm going to give you lots of exercises so that you pick along, correct, learn from your errors. All right, do some error correction, learn, correct, self-correct yourself and self-learn. So there'll be lots of exercises for you to do. All right. Okay, so the first one, like I said, the first part, subject-verb agreement. So in the subject-verb agreement, you have two parts, the subject, the verb. Okay, what do you mean by subject? There are two types of subjects. That means you can start a sentence with two types of subject. You can start with nouns or you can start with pronouns. If you're starting with pronouns, you can either use he, she, or it, which is a singular pronoun. This is very important because what I'm going to teach you is the the subject must agree with the verb. So if you're using a singular pronoun like he, she, and it, what is the correct verb to use? You use a singular verb with it. Now, that's why you have to know which pronouns are singular, which are plural. Now, I, you, we, and they are considered the plural pronouns. So when you have plural pronouns, you always only use the plural verb with it. Okay? Later, I'll show you what is a singular verb, what is a plural verb. The second thing you have to remember about subject is, can I count these nouns? If I can count the nouns, like I can count cats, dogs, room, then if it's plural, I will use a plural verb. But if I'm using a singular noun like a cat, the cat, then my verb must only be singular. Okay? But when it comes to uncountable, or sometimes we call it non-count verbs like sugar, information, advice, you cannot count sugar. You cannot say I have 2 sugars and 3 salts and many informations and many advices, okay, and many jewelries. No, I can say I have 2 chains. I have many necklaces, but you cannot say I have many jewelries. Okay, you cannot. So you must know that. Then you will get your verb correct. So what will happen to this? You marry these together. Okay, the subject and the verb, like in a marriage, must be compatible. No compatibility, they go separate ways. True? Okay, so it must agree. Agree in number, like I said. If it's a singular subject, the verb is singular. If it is a plural subject, the verb is plural. Countable also same. If it is a countable singular, the verb is singular. If it's a countable plural, the verb is plural. The only exception is uncountable. Things you cannot count. They are always singular. All right. Example. A dog, the verb is. So remember, singular, countable subject always must have S at the end. Must have somehow S. Is, burns, has, turns. Remember this. Singular, he, she, it is singular, right? Okay. A dog is singular. A candle is singular. Something you can count. The dog you can count. But here you're using singular. Is. The verb must always have an S. The dog is. The candle burns. The boy has. The world turns. Remember that. But if it's plural, subject take a plural verb. Plural verb, remember, has no S. Remember, there's never an S in a plural verb. The dogs, yes, because dogs is plural subject, plural noun. Plural nouns, you can have S. But a plural verb cannot have S. Opposites attract, right? Remember the rule. Opposites attract. Dogs are no S. Candle burn, no S. Boys have no S. Countries are no is. Okay? And for singular pronoun, I am here. Now, be verb is a bit different. For be verb, okay, I will later show you I. I is a very, very important verb in the English language because you know what? It gives us a lot of headache because I is used in so many unique ways. You cannot say I is. It's always I am. All right? Okay? All right. It's very special. I am here. He is. She is. It is. So remember, singular subject take singular verb. Singular verb always has an S. Remember, she is, he is, it is. But you is called a plural subject. So plural have no S. You are. We are. They are. You are. Now remember, you is also sometimes very troublesome because you can mean one person, it can mean many. So you know what English made it easy? just take it as plural. Learn one type. Okay, so remember, you is always a. No, but it can also mean you, one person, you. Okay, right. Clear? Everybody good? Any questions? Can I see your chat? Anybody with any questions? Okay, any questions so far? Okay, all right. So I'll move on. Okay, uncountable. Okay, different ball game altogether. Uncountable, like I said, don't worry. It's always singular. Okay, it's always singular. Love is. All right, wine taste. So remember, for uncountable nouns, it is always singular. Okay, Puspalata, are you okay? Can you hear me now? Puspalata?
Yes, I can hear you now.
Oh, great. I'm so
How
happy
come
to
I
know
can hear now?
that.
I don't know why
Okay.
I can hear now.
Yeah, it's better now than never, right? So yeah,
Okay,
okay.
thank you very
All right.
much.
You're welcome. Okay, so love is. Okay, again, singular, verb also singular. Singular verb, remember, always has an S. Okay, wine tastes, the water in the lake feels, the information lacks. Now, the trouble sometimes is when we have more than one noun in a sentence and when we have a connection with the word and. That's when sometimes we get confused with our verb. That's when our subject verb is mind-boggling. We don't know. We've forgotten. Okay? So remember this rule. Two singular nouns connected by and makes a plural subject. The man and. So end here. Live. Okay? Remember, plural verbs have no S. Okay? The reason she comes here and the reason I come here are different because you have two, she and I, and there are two reasons. They are different. So, any questions? Can we move on? Oops. Oh, my slides sometimes doesn't want to go to the next. Oops. Oh, all right. Sorry, it went overboard. Okay. All right. So I have a table, a simple table that will summarize the rules of subject-verb agreement. Okay. So singular, no S. All right. If your subject for singular never has an S, but the verb has an S. The singular, like cat, okay, loves. My cat loves to eat fish. Plural. Plural has an S in the subject, but the verb no S. So remember, opposites attract, okay? Remember this rule. My cats love to eat fish, okay? Now, as I say, I is always difficult and also very important. I is always love. I love. I never lives. Okay? I love, even though I is singular. Okay? I. You cannot say I loves you. I love you. All right? Okay. But in the past tense, no problem. For regular verbs, like I said just now, regular verbs? Just put ed. I played football yesterday. Irregular verb. I sang a song yesterday. Okay, you can refer to a dictionary. We're so lucky that we live in a digital world. We can always use all kinds of spell check, grammar check, okay, dictionaries, online, Google to perfect our grammar. So don't be alarmed. Just Google everything and anything. In the future, it's also very easy. Always will plus base verb. There is no subject verb problem at all. The only time you have problem is in the present form, in the present tense form. All right. Or when you're using the auxiliary. which I'm going to point out in a while. All right, auxiliary. The first auxiliary is to be. Okay, here again in the present, I am, you are, here, you are here, he, she is here. Okay, so you see the be verb has got 3 types of verb. Am, is, are. Remember, and in the past it's got 2 types, was, were. So this is something you have to remember. So you must have a subject verb agreement when you are using the to be verb in the present and in the past. Don't worry about the future because that it doesn't matter. It's only one type. Okay? All right. So if it is a singular, I say it's always difficult. I is am. Okay, the rest of your singular nouns like he, she, it, and you. Okay, all right. He, she, it, like I said, they're always singular nouns, so they always take a singular verb, which is with an S, so is. But the rest, you, we, they, okay, they are plural subjects or plural nouns. So they must take plural verbs, which is are. Don't confuse with eats and loves and we eat and she eats. Don't get confused because that is different verb. This is the to be verb. It's entirely different. This is called an auxiliary verb. Okay, so you have to learn this. But in the past, I, you, he, she, and it all has the same, was. The only time you use were will be for we, they, and you. All right. Any questions so far? All good? All right. All good? Any questions? Anybody? No. All right. I'm going to move on. Oops. Sorry. Okay. So this is what I mean by auxiliary. There are 3 auxiliaries. The to be verb, the to have verb, and the to do verb. This is something you have to memorize. You must make sure that the subject and the verb agrees. Okay? So memorize this table. Keep it in your phone. Every time you're writing, open it up. Refer to it until it becomes a habit and then be confident and use it without any reference. Okay? So the first one in the present to do is, are, am. The to have verb will be has for singular, have for plural, and look at I. It's always have. Okay, the to do verb. Does is for singular, do is for plural, and I is also do. All right, okay? In the past tense, to the be verb, was, were. Now, why I say was possible event, were possible, impossible event, I'm looking at the conditional statements. Remember when I said when you make conditional statements, that means you're talking about unreal situations, your dream, hypothetical situations. You don't say I was or I am because that is real. You will use the word I were, if I were the prime minister. Okay, if I were I don't know, the CEO of a big company. All right. Okay. For impossible event, always use verb. Okay. So in the past tense, again, it's quite easy for to have because there's only one type, had. And in the past tense too, there's only one type in the past, had. And the same for the future. Even the future is the same. All right. You don't need all right, you don't need to change it. It's always will be, will have, will do. Okay, what are some of the common mistakes we make? Now, firstly is we don't know where the noun is. Now, if you look at this sentence, the characters in this extremely modern version of Shakespeare Macbeth are no longer believable. You don't know where is the noun because for us to make sure the subject agrees with the verb, we have to know whether the subject is plural or singular. Now here, we don't know. There are 3 nouns here: characters, version, Shakespeare's Macbeth. So which is the one? Remember the rule. Always take the first one. The characters. That will be your deciding, subject. So you know characters is many, plural. So it needs a plural verb. What is a plural verb here? Are. This is an auxiliary to be verb. So we use are here. Next mistake. Okay, when we have more than one head noun joined with the words like and, or no. Remember, you're making more. So when you're making more, definitely your subject is going to become plural. So definitely your verb will also have to become plural. Remember that. Okay, so two singular head, two or more singular head linked by the word and, okay, will always take a plural verb. But if two singular verbs are joined with or, now or no, we know it is only one. Remember, or means you have to choose. No means neither. So it's only one. So obviously it is a singular. And so it will take a singular verb. Okay? So example, Chelsea and Marisa own. Greece and Ukraine have won. But here, you look at the word. Now, either Chelsea, either Chelsea or Marisa. So only one. So if it's only one, you must take a singular verb. What is singular verb? Always with S. Owns. Neither Greece nor Ukraine. Again, only one. Has. Singular verb always has S. Has won. Next, you don't know which type. You don't know what to do. What type of pronouns to use. So this is the rule. Words like each, every, either, neither, none. Remember, each, only one. Every, only one. Neither, only one. Neither, only one. None, less than one, right? So they always are singular pronouns and they will always take a singular verb. But both, you know, it's more than one. Few, many, several. They are plural pronouns. So they will always take a plural verb. Plural verb means no S. Singular verb means with S. Okay? All right. Words like some, all, any, most. Again, they are plural, yes. But if you use it with a non-count nouns like some water, some sugar. You can't count water, you can't count sugar. When they are non-count, they will always take a singular, all right? Singular verb, okay? But if you have got plural verb like some cats, some dogs, plural, right? They will always take a plural verb. Okay, now I'm going to type this link, in a while, all right, later. And I want you to, let me finish the mistakes and I want you to have a go at it. Mistake 4. Collective noun is another problem area because we don't know whether it means one or many. Okay, all right. If in doubt, always ask yourself, am I talking this noun as one unit or am I talking to it as different individuals or different units? So if I'm talking of it as a one subject, then I will use a singular verb. But if I'm talking to it as a plural subject, then I will use a plural verb for it. Okay? All right? Like the team arrives tomorrow. both teams arrive tomorrow. So a team arrives tomorrow. Okay, both teams arrive tomorrow. One of the team member is my friend. So you see, one. I'm referring to one. So is. Okay, many of my team members are. Again, I'm using many. So many is plural. I must use a plural verb are. Okay, the other one is these words. These words look plural, but they are always, always, always singular. Just because they end in S, it doesn't mean that they are plural. But you have to learn. It comes with usage, it comes with practice. Forensics, appendices, Texas, cities, physics, robotics, mathematics, news, blitz, all these. Okay, just because they're S, it doesn't mean they're plural. They're all singular. All right, 6 mistake we always make. You make plurals of some words that are only ever singular. Like, okay, words like evidence, there's never an S. Information, never an S. Knowledge, never S. Research, never S. They are always, always single. And so they will always, always require a single verb, a singular verb. Okay? All right. Okay, so a little practice, quick practice. So what I can do to you is I'm going to put it into the link. I'm going to copy into your chat so you can have a quick go at it. Let me have a chat to everybody. So what you can do is maybe you want to click on it and you can quickly do this exercise and just test yourself. Can everybody open the link?
Yes.
Oh, great. Okay, have a quick go. Just test yourself. We've been talking about subject-verb agreement for some time. Just maybe try to recap on some of the knowledge that we have gained by doing this quick exercise. For a start, we just do number 1, all right? And later, you can always go back and do the rest. How is it going so far?
Great. Moving on to my second exercise.
Okay, great. Okay, once you've done the 2, 1 and 2, we can stop. We don't have to do the 3, 4 and 5. You can do it at your leisure. As long as you get if you're getting all correct, I think you have generally grasped the subject-verb agreement concept. Okay? Any questions you want to ask? All done? All right, we will just stop there then. Any questions? Anybody has any questions with regards to subject-verb agreement or the exercise? Oh, you're enjoying doing it, is it? The second, why is the answer for fifth is? Okay, somebody asked me a question. Let me see. Which one are you referring to? Can you read the question, please? Who asked that question? Can we share with you? Let me share. Okay, which one is that? Who is asking this question? How useful this website is it? Who asked me this question? Can you speak up, please? The second one. Why the answer is, which second one are you talking? Can you read out the question, Shahida? I can't hear you at all. Shahida, I can't hear you at all. I can't answer. The population, where is it? Let me tell. The population in some countries. Because, yes, because you're talking of the population, the head. What is the main noun here? Is it talking? That's why I remember just now I had a sentence which got many nouns. And I asked you, which is the noun that we must pick? Always the head noun. That means the first one, which is the population. So the population is singular. It's okay. So the population in some countries is huge. We don't look at some countries. That is not our main noun. Our main noun is the country, the population. That's why the answer is here. Is. Shahida, does that answer your question? Are you clear with that now? Yes, no? Yes, okay, great. Okay, so let's move on. Want to move on to other things. Okay, so this is a few more rules that you have to know. The first part was all the mistakes that we always made. So there are the rules that you have to know. One, like what, Shahida? The closest word to the verb is not always a subject. Some countries is closest to the verb, but it is not the subject of the sentence. That's why the population is the subject of the sentence. All right, Shahida and the others. So this is the first rule you must remember. I wanted you to have a go at it and then think about the second part, which is the rules. The leader of the students has long hair. The head noun is leader. The full subject is the leader of the countries. Is it singular or plural? Singular, because the leader, that is the head noun we must look at. The second, the bird in the trees. Again, the head count or the head noun is the bird. Was beautiful. The man who bought 100 houses. Again, the head noun is the man. So is rich, not are rich. No, to find the subject, just look at the verb and ask yourself, who or what is the main subject of the sentence? Okay? Like for the first one is, who has long hair? The leader, not the student. Who is beautiful? The bird, not the trees. Who is rich? The man, not the houses. Okay? So always ask this question. The second rule. Okay? The inverted sentences, sometimes the subject is behind, not in front. That's when we also always have the subject-verb agreement problem. Okay? We don't know where it is. So this we call it inverted sentences. Inverted, the verb agrees with the noun that comes after me. So the verb is, but the subject is or the noun is a problem. Here is or are your glasses. So the subject here is your glasses. So here are your glasses. Again, the subject is the difficult part. Now, so difficult part is singular. So singular, you must have singular verb. Now comes the difficult part. Again, here we have three subjects: price, location, and size. So they are plural nouns. You have to take a plural verb. How important are? Okay, next, rule 3. If you have the word everybody, someone, anyone, no one, always they are singular subjects. Singular subjects always take singular verbs. Everyone is hungry. Somebody lives here. Anybody, anyone is welcome. Okay? Don't use are, don't use live. All right? Okay, sometimes you have words. So I want to actually cross out. Oops. So, I mean, these were for you to guess, but okay. All right. Now, where sometimes we have something in parentheses or we have it in between commas. Now, this is another confusion we always have. Don't worry, ignore. Look at the head noun, the head of the subject. The man is the head. So if the man is the head, then he is singular. So the verb must be singular. The man lives here. Okay? So don't worry if he has several children. Don't worry about that. That's secondary. Here we are talking about the man. He's singular. Okay? So you take a singular verb. All right? So this is a nutshell. This is the whole recap of what we have done. All summarized for you with all the agreement with the action verbs, with the auxiliary verbs to be, to have, to do. In the present tense, in the past tense. All done for you with some examples. Okay? So take this as a guide. Practice this. Remember the last box, the agreement with the subject, and you should have no problem. I want to move on to the next one, which is tenses. Now, tenses, again, a big problem. Here, I'm going to teach you keywords to use with tenses. So, if you look at the first, can you spot what is the mistake in the first? Can I have a pen? I don't know how to do that. Just as somebody did the pen for me. Can somebody help me with the pen? So we can self-correct. Bhavani, I think just now. How do you get the pen? yes, I got it. Okay. It is raining when I got home last night. What is the mistake here? Can somebody tell me? Puspa, can you try? What is the mistake in the tense here?
The first one should be is I was home last night, not I got home last night.
I was. So, but was
Yes.
also is past, got also is past. So this is talking
No.
about last night. So it's correct. But there's something else that is wrong. Somebody else? What is wrong with the tense? Okay, let me teach you first. Then we'll come back to this exercise. Okay, let me teach you the keywords. Then later we'll go back to this exercise. Now, keywords, when they're used in tenses, they guide us. They tell us whether the tense we use is correct or wrong. So, for the simple present, okay, it's used for habits and regular exercises. So, look at the yellow keywords. Always use it with always, usually, normally, often, sometimes, rarely, seldom, never, every day, every week, every month, every year, daily, weekly, annually. What it means, it shows something that is regular, constantly going on again and again. It is also used for truths and real statements. Okay? Okay, so for truths and facts that do not change, and for regular and your habits, always use the simple present. And the keywords always use whenever you see these words, usually, always, normally, often, you know it's always present tense. Second is present continuous. What is it? It is be verb plus verb ing. When do we use it? We use it when we want to show actions happening now. At this moment, what are we doing? We are listening to Kuljinder. She's telling us about grammar, how to make grammar, how to learn some of the grammar rules. Okay, so that's action happening at this moment. So we use it with keywords like now, right now, presently, currently, today. Okay, all right. So these help us to know and use the verb correctly, or verb tense, sometimes they say correctly. Third one, present perfect. What is the present perfect? You have to have the word have or has plus the past participle. Example, I have been to Japan. She has seen the movie. He has bought a ticket for a movie. See, they all have or has plus the past participle. Why do we use it? We use it when we want to show an action that has happened in a period that started in the past but has not finished yet. It has not finished yet. If it has finished, then we will use the simple present. See the gray one? The simple present is for action that finished at a specific time in the past. But the present perfect is action that happened, started in the past, but they have not finished yet. So you use it with words like already, just, okay, for, since. You can also use for repeated action, once, twice, several times. You also use it with lately, recently, that means just happened. Okay, always related to before now. Just before now, something has started. Okay, now it may finish or it might not. If it has finished, then we use the simple past. But if it has not finished yet, we use the present perfect. So, I have exercised twice this month. I've eaten this morning. Yes, but I will eat again in the afternoon and in the evening. It's not finished yet. So, we use the present perfect. We also use the present perfect to talk about life's experiences, to find out whether somebody has experienced things in their life. So we also always say these things like, I have already been to Japan. I just recently went to Japan. Okay? Or I have recently gone to Japan. Or you can say, if you have not experienced yet, negative sentence, you always use the word yet. She has not seen the movie yet. Right? Okay? She hasn't been to Japan yet. So yet is always used for negative sentence to show that you have not had that experience yet. Okay? We can also, you look at the last one. He has bought it yesterday. It's wrong. Why? Because yesterday is a specific time in the past that is finished. We can never use it with present tense, with present perfect. So you see, this is the keyword. You cannot use yesterday. Yesterday is used for the gray. Look at the gray keywords. Yesterday, last week, last year, in 2017. It is all about something that is started and finished in the past. Okay? So this is present perfect. The next is the present perfect continuous. The present perfect continuous is have plus been plus the verb ing form. Like you have been reading this web page for 2 minutes. Okay. Now, keywords here is always ask your question. If you want to make a sentence that shows how long, then always use the present perfect continuous, because we will say, I have been reading for 2 minutes. I've been listening to Kuljinder since 2 o'clock. So if I want to show how long, we always use the present perfect continuous. And we use it with words like for, since, all day. Tomorrow, Ramadan starts. All the Muslims will or will be fasting the whole day. And you can say, I have been fasting from or since 5 or 6 a.m. You say, I have been fasting since, I don't know what time is your sahur, I'm not sure, 5 or 6 a.m. Okay? All right. So we've done past simple. The next one is past continuous. When do we use the past continuous and what is the past continuous? The past continuous is with the verb, be verb plus the verb ing. It usually focuses on actions happening at a specific time in the past. And usually you say, yes, I can say I went. But why I must say I was going? Why I can't say I went? Why? Because it is usually used with another action. So when you want to see, when you want to show two actions at the same time, then we use the past continuous. That's why we use it with the words while and when. See, I was driving my car at 9 last night. I was driving my car while I was listening to the music. I was driving the car when my husband called. Two actions. I want to show two actions. So when I want to show two actions, I will use it with while and when. And I will use the past continuous form for it. Any questions so far? Are we okay? Are we okay? All right. Okay, the next one is past perfect. Same with the past perfect. Past perfect also it's related to two action. All right. Okay. One action must occur before another action can take place. Past continuous, they can go at the same time, but past perfect cannot. That means one action must happen, then the next one must start. That means you have two actions in the past. One action has occurred before another action. See, I had met my wife before I graduated university. You have two actions, but one took place first, then the other took place second. So when you have that kind of situations, then you use the past perfect. And we always use it with the word keyword before, by the time. You can also use it with the word after. Okay? Before I met you, I was in the university. After I met you, okay, I was working. All right? All right, next one. Future, will. Future is will plus verb. It's not always 100% decided. It's a prediction. Will is always for prediction. Maybe I will go. Maybe I won't go. I'm okay. So will is for prediction. To show that a future action is done voluntarily also. I will most probably help you tomorrow. Okay. Also, maybe. You can also use it with maybe I will help you. Most probably I will help you. Okay. All right. So what I'm going to do is now I'm going to copy this link for you. And you are going to try this exercise using what we have learned so far. So let me stop sharing with you. Let me stop sharing. Let me copy the link. Oops, sorry about that. Okay, I'm going to put it in the chat. Okay, can you all try this? Okay, try this exercise. Are you able to open the page? Thumbs up if you can. Yes, thank you, Shahida. Thank you. Okay, you have to scroll the exercise until you come to the end of it. Okay, scroll until you come to the end of it. You will see the subject-verb agreement exercises. Okay, scroll until you come to the end of it. So you'll have something like this. If you scroll, you will have something like this. So this is what I need you to do. These exercises, yes. So click. Hey, sorry, this is the wrong exercise. I'm so sorry. Sorry, I gave you the wrong, or did I click on the wrong one? Okay, I'm sorry about that. I think there was some technical error. Let me share. I'm going to stop sharing. Let me share what I have on mine, which is the correct one. All right. I think I made a mistake in sharing that. Okay, so sorry about that. Okay, this is what I'm referring to. This one. Okay, sorry, I think I've made a mistake in cut and paste just now. So this is what I want you to do. With all the keywords underlined, tell me what is the correct answer. Can somebody give me the answer for the first one? Anyone? Give me the answer. If you want to put it in the chat, it's fine with me. Yeah, or some.
The movie was end by 1 hour ago.
Okay, now ago, 1 hour ago, is it past? What
Yes,
does it?
it's past tense.
Yes, it's past tense. So go. So what is the past tense of end? You have to use the word in the bracket. What is the past tense of end? Very good. Esther, ended. You
Yes,
don't put your
ended.
own verb. Ended.
Uh,
Number 2. The keyword is what?
was talked. TALKED.
Okay. No, look at the word that is underlined. What is the word that is underlined? Right now. Right now means what?
Talking.
Yes. But the talking must come with something else. Very good, Shahida. It must come with the be verb. The store manager is talking because of the word right now. Right now means at the moment. At the moment you use present continuous. Okay, look at number 3. The keyword is 3 times. 3 times show what? Repeated action. So for repeated action, what tense do you use?
Be should be is been.
No, but what tense do you use for 3 times? For repeated action. Very good, Carol Nisa. Try again one more time. 3 times is repeated. So for repeated, what tense do you use? Present perfect. So what is present perfect of be? Has been. Okay. Now look at number 4. What is the keyword here? Rarely today. So rarely and today show what? Rarely and today show what? Regular, habit. So regular and habit, what tense do you use? Anybody? What tense do you use for regular or habit? No, you can't say is knowing. Rarely, okay, correct. What am I reading? Okay, it rarely snows. Yes, so it rarely snows in Vancouver, but it is snowing today. Yes. Look at to rarely. Rarely is a word used in the habitual action. Okay, so it rarely snows. But today, what is today? Today means happening now. Currently, at the moment, it is snowing today. Okay? Don't forget the is. Some of you are not putting the is. Okay? You must say is snowing. Number 5, how long? How long? The keyword how long is for what? To show what? No? No, how long? Go back to your notes on how long. How long is for present perfect continuous. Present perfect continuous. How long have you been living here? How long have you been living here? Since. See the word since? Since I was a teenager. Remember, if the verb answers how long, it has to be present perfect continuous. Every year. Every year? For every year? What is the tense? Every year? Is regular. Yes, very good. So regular, you use the simple present. Every year, the weather becomes colder. Okay, good. Number 2, is it raining? Yes, it rained all day. Is it still raining? Is it still raining? So what does it mean? All day. That means it started from sometime until the end of the day. So what verb tense do you use for this? It
Was raining.
It was raining, but they're asking, is it still raining? They're not asking in the past. They're asking in the present. So you cannot say it was raining. Is it still raining? Yes, it is. It has been raining all day. Why? It has been raining because it is something that has started and we don't know whether it's going to stop. Right or not? We don't know. It is something that will not stop. So something that has not stopped, we use the present perfect continuous. It has been raining all day. Okay, the boy usually. So usually is used with regular action. So what is it? It becomes anybody? No answer? Nobody has an answer? Every year the boy usually eats the food. The boy usually eats. Okay, number 4. In 2010. 2010 is talking about a time in the past. So the store opened. ED. This morning at 8:30. When the phone rang. See, when. That means there are two actions taking place. Esther, you cannot say the store. Yes. The store, you don't have to say was opened. You can just say the store opened in 2010. Was open is a passive. Yes, you can use a passive, but it's not necessary to. Because if they just say in 2010, you can just say the store opened in 2010. Okay? All right. So this morning, at 8:30 when the phone rang. So there are two actions taking place. When the phone rang, you're doing something. So when you're doing something, when the phone rang, in the past, you use a?
I took a shower.
Yes, but you have two. Yes, that is correct. At 8:30. But when you have when my phone rang, when you were have, yes, very good, Shaida. I was taking a shower because you have got two actions. When you have two actions, okay, you use the past continuous because you have the word when. By 2017. By. If you have by, what do you use? If you have by, what do you use? By? Had lived. By, that means by 2017, Joanne had lived in 5 different countries. Now, see the word now? He is living in Australia now. Okay? Do you want to eat lunch with us? I'm busy now. Maybe. See the word maybe? When you have maybe, you use future. Maybe I will join you later. By the time I finish my test, all the other students, by the time, had left. Okay? When the phone rang again, I was listening to the loud music because you have two actions. Paula, for 5 years. Now, for 5 years, you use the present continuous. Paula has worked for 5 years. Okay? Okay, but by the time, because you say by the time, you will say Paula had worked in Germany for 5 years by the time she decided to move to Japan. John, twice this month, John has been late because twice is repeated. You use the present perfect. And the last one, last night, the students made a website for their project last night. All right. So I suggest you learn the keywords and learn when to use them so that you can actually use it, all right, and learn the structures more easily. All right. Okay. Now the next one I'm going to share with you is articles. I'm going to give you a table which tells you the rules of using articles. Remember this rule. When you have rule 1, specific identity is not known. Okay. Articles are used in front of count nouns. Okay. Right. So if the identity is not known, like any apple, any pen, any car, you just say, can I have a pen? Can I can I buy a car? Okay, N is used for words with vowels. I'm eating an orange. For non-count nouns, there is no article. I want water. You don't say I want a water. I want sugar. You cannot say I want a sugar. The is used for specific identity that is known. If you already know who is that, oh, I want the red pen. I don't say I want a pen. I want a pen means any, general. I don't specify which pen. I say I want a pen. But if I want to specify which pen, I want the red pen, I have to use the definite article the. Same with non-count. I want the water which is on the table. Not any water, but the water which is on the table. Not the water which is on the floor. Okay? Now, the third rule is all things or things in general. No article. Okay? You don't need, oh, I want any pen, you can say. All right? I want many, like many pens. You for many things, all things. You use the plural. So when you use the plural for many pens, you don't have to use a and n. So okay, for more practice, you actually can use these websites. Okay, these sources. So what you can do is you can copy, I'll share it here and you can practice when you go home. Okay, I will just put it in the chat. So you can just copy it out because we don't really have time to do this. Okay, so I'll just leave it here for you. You can always copy and you can always practice on your own. All right. Now, the next thing that we need to look at is prepositions. Prepositions is another grammar rule that is very daunting to a lot of us. Like I said, there are more than 100 prepositions. There are 100 important prepositions here. Again, I will share with you the website. Okay, you can actually Google this. Oops, all right. I'll just copy this. I can't seem to copy this website. I don't know why. I don't seem to be able to highlight this. All right. Maybe you can take a picture of this. All right. Okay. Then I want to tell you a little bit about types of preposition. Many prepositions have more than one meaning. They are prepositions of place. Okay, place. If you show position or something, place. There's preposition of time. Okay, like on Sunday. Okay, on Monday. There's preposition of movement, like towards, to. There's preposition of manner. That means how you do things. I go by train. I go by car. There's also preposition of means, like how you do something, by what means. You use it with. With shows means. There's also preposition with accompaniment, like without. Preposition of possession, a friend of mine, of. Preposition of purpose, for. Note that many prepositions sometimes can be used in more than one category. Like for the word in, it can use in place. I have a handphone in my pocket. It can also be used for time. I'm born in January. Okay, it can also be used in manner. I drive in a car. Okay, so there is some preposition can go through different categories, but there are some prepositions that are only for selected categories. Okay, all right. So the golden rule of preposition is it's always followed by a noun. It is never followed by a verb. Remember. Prepositions are always before a noun. For dogs, to Bangkok, to him, before my first job, about swimming. It can never be followed by the verb. The only time a preposition can be followed by a verb is if you are using verb ing. I look forward to seeing you. They are committed to keeping the price down. All right, that's the golden preposition rule. Remember. And also don't get confused with to as a preposition and to as infinitive. Remember at the beginning, I told you about to plus infinitive. They love to sing. They used to live. Now that to is different from the preposition to. I look forward to lunch. I am used to cars. Okay, so I'm going to copy this for you. Oops. I don't know why I can't copy. Okay, sorry. You can, I'm going to put it into your chat so that you can actually have more practice on this. All right. So with that, I finish off the webinar today on Grammar Made Easy. All right. I hope you have gained a few things from this. I hope you have picked up some golden grammar rules that you can practice on. I've given you lots of links, websites where you can go in and practice and polish on these grammar rules. So, do you have any questions?
Hi guys, if you guys have any question, you may ask Madam Kuljinder now, because we are going to have another session with Madam on Thursday.
Yes, that's right.
I'm sorry with the participants, Madam, today because we are having an open interview.
Ah, yes.
So our injured person might be coming here today.
Oh, I see. All right. Okay. Yeah, no problem. Anyway, I hope you all gain something. All right. So thank you, Clarice.